I would apologise to every family that's been affected by this transition. But at the same time, I hope that they can realise I'm doing this for myself. And it was a selfish decision that I've made for myself, my loved ones, my family.
Olympic silver medalist Ben Proud says he had sleepless nights before announcing he would be joining this widely condemned training camp and medical trial in Abu Dhabi. Ben now holds the title as the first Briton to join the Enhanced Games, the controversial event that allows athletes to take performance-enhancing drugs.
Would it be probably the fastest race of all time?
For sure, yeah.
With over $1 million as prize money, will Ben choose to take PEDs?
The truth is, because I'm banned from world aquatics now and I feel like my reputation will be tainted if I ever try to get back there, I'm willing to be fully played by the rules, fully enhanced rules.
It seems like you're gearing towards yes.
I feel like I am. I mean, why not?
Well, there is the cost to his reputation. The World Anti-Doping Agency have criticised the Enhanced Games as unethical and unsafe. But what about Ben's fans?
You are on the pedestal of a role model, so there are people who think, well, what about the young swimmers who looked up to you?
The toughest messages I had to read was from swim parents who said, "Oh, you are my son's biggest idol. What a shame." And those are the ones where, it really hits you hard. However, I still believe that my whole career is there. It's written in writing. It's done. That is my legacy that I'm leaving behind. I'm not doing Enhanced to advocate, for people to follow in this footstep. First experience that life of trying to get yourself to the best you can be and explore these things because it's invaluable.
Ben Proud says the move is about securing his financial future. Up until the Enhanced Games in May, athletes will live in Abu Dhabi.
Hi sir, could I order 2 pieces of grilled salmon? Yes please.
Where their training, accommodation and food is all free. But it's the huge prize money that's tempting them to risk their legacies.
We can win $250,000, whereas opposed to being a world champion is only $20,000 US. And you'd be very, very lucky to become a world champion at some point, and I was lucky to do so. But it's just so different.
Enhanced Games athletes can win up to $1 million if they beat the world record. However, any weight or time broken by drug-taking athletes will not be official.
As soon as he touched the wall, I looked back and wow, phenomenal.
2 enhanced swimmers have already proven that PEDs can give an unnatural boost in ability. Christian Golomiev became the fastest swimmer ever over 50 metres. But unlike bodybuilding, a sport known for rampant drug use, simply having big muscles won't result in faster times. London 2012 Olympic gold medalist Australian James Magnussen was the first ever enhanced athlete, and yet he failed in his attempt to break the world record. By the time he entered the water, he was more like the Hulk than a swimmer, but he had been retired for 7 years.
The videos went viral, you looked absolutely huge. How did you feel at the time?
I felt like a juggernaut, particularly on land. My strength went through the roof, my power, my plyometric ability, my sleep was better, my health stats were better, everything felt great. I wasn't as quick in the pool because surprisingly that extra 40 pounds of muscle didn't quite float.
Other people would say, well, what about your measures for health in terms of long term? Because obviously taking drugs do impact your body, sometimes in a negative way. Is that not part of any of your fears?
Yeah, so all the health metrics that we tracked actually improved, and a big part of that was I had such a focus on sleep, recovery, diet. It was a holistic approach, not just the protocol. So for me, if there was to be a long-term effect, surely there'd be some sign in the short to medium term that something was out of place or something was different, and we didn't experience that at all.
And psychologically, did it give you a slight insight into the world of bodybuilding? Because you got bigger, you got stronger. Did you want more and more on top of that?
I think it's probably a dream for every young guy to get really big and vascular and max out their physical appearance. I kind of feel like I've ticked that box now, and now I can just focus on the performance part.
And to those people that say you've ruined your legacy as one of the icons of Australian swimming?
I think legacy is a really interesting thing. I actually sat and thought about this legacy piece. So I'd been retired for 7 years before I came back to do this. And people will be amazed to hear that you don't get a legacy payment each year for your reputation for when you're a swimmer. the next batch comes through, the next name comes through, the next swimmer comes through, and those that have gone before are reasonably quickly forgotten. To me, legacy is the opinion of people that don't know you, that haven't met you. I heard about James, he did this in 2012, for example. And to me, that legacy and what I did back then, it's cemented, that those results aren't changing. I actually think in the long term, this will be my legacy, the pioneer of the Enhanced Games, the first enhanced athlete, and it's something that I'm actually proud of.
The Enhanced Games will be held in Las Vegas, featuring swimming, weightlifting and sprinting, including Team GB's Olympian Reece Prescott. The Londoner came out of retirement to try and win the biggest payday of his career.
When it comes to that prize fund, how life-changing would it be if you were to win it?
Well, if you win, breaking a world record, obviously that's $1 million. That's astronomical money. You know, people work really day and hard to achieve something like that. So that would be amazing if you come first, you place well in the competition, which will then, it will help you in terms of just some financial security and just moving forward in your future. I think it's probably one of the first times we've seen in a track and field event or athletic event this kind of prize money available. But again, if we compare this to the likes of football, for example, what their salaries are on per week, if you compare this to golf, not close. If you compare this to tennis, Formula One, again, it's relative to that. We're professional athletes, NFL, basketball, baseball. If we look at the highest paid sport, track's not up there. So this prize money in the space is quite a lot, but compared to everyone else, it's a bit different,
Do you think the prize money and the chance to be enhanced will lure more athletes to the Enhanced Games?
100%. I feel like in life, everybody wants financial security. So I feel like it's definitely a factor that people are going to consider,
But money isn't the only motivation. Elite athletes push their bodies to the limit during each training session. Enhanced athletes told me they hoped the medical study would offer them substances to promote quicker recovery.
Has there ever been a time when you've pushed your body too far?
Of course, I've broken everything. I literally, hamstrings, I can't count how many times I've done my hamstring, back disc, hips, quad, because for me, it's like Formula One, it's like a race car. I'm pushing myself to that top speed, and either I'm going to get an amazing time or something might go. So I've literally done every injury you could imagine.
Britain's third competitor is swimmer Emily Barclay. She represented Great Britain as a student and never reached Olympic level. But unlike the others, she's not on the fence about taking PEDs.
The big question is, will you be taking performance-enhancing drugs?
Yes. I think that this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and having already spoke with some doctors, the dosages we're having are small, and I feel completely safe.
Doctors we've spoken to in the UK say there's no way to take PEDs without impacting your long-term health. Is that not something that you worry about?
I mean, of course everybody would worry about it, right? But Enhanced have told us, for the next 5 years, they're going to be checking up on us just to make sure that we're doubly safe.
Whether pulling up or squatting down, across the UK every day millions of people push their bodies in the gym. Olympic silver medalist and athletic broadcaster Ewan Thomas turned natural hard work into international titles as a 400-metre sprinter for Team GB.
Ewan, how proud does it make you knowing that you won all of these as a clean athlete?
So proud. And also the fact that I know it brought immense pleasure to other people as well, including my family. So to sit here as an old 52-year-old man, knowing I did this as a clean athlete with pure determination to be the best that I can be, makes me sleep at night. Very, very proud. Sport for me was all about, even from a young age, just trying to be the best that I could be against the rest of the world. And I can say, if I'm honest, my career was cut short because of injuries, and I'm sure there was things I could have taken to get back from those injuries, but it never even crossed my mind. I know I can put my head on the pillow at night. Yes, I haven't got an Olympic gold, but I can tell my boys, your dad was an Olympic silver medalist through blood, sweat, and just hard work, determination, and that makes me immensely proud.
Ewan says no amount of money would have made him join the Enhanced Games.
What's your biggest fear when it comes to the Enhanced Games in terms of its impact on future generations?
I think the danger is the more we see of the Enhanced Games, the more normalised drug taking will become. So Joe Bloggs on the street will think, well, do you know what? I can make a load of money if I take drugs. It will probably be easier than doing it the proper way. And then what's going to happen to them? It becomes normalised, then it comes down to people here in a gym like this. There's gyms like this all around the country where people do cheat. But all of a sudden, it won't be just the 1 or 2% of people who want to cheat to be as big as they can be, to feel great about themselves. It'll be 90% of people do it because that is a normal thing to do. And it isn't the normal thing to do. Drug taking isn't correct.
The NHS warns against using steroids without a medical prescription.
Talk me through your use in the past. When did you start using?
Researchers at Liverpool John Moores University are examining the long-term effects of taking PEDs.
We have to be conscious that the substances they're using are not designed to deliver that. They're designed to treat disease processes where these things are naturally low. There is clearly a heart and blood vessel health risk associated with taking additional substances, going above and beyond with those hormones, and it doesn't justify the risk with the supernormal outcomes.
The Enhanced Games says all drugs offered are approved by the FDA, the US body that regulates medicines, and are not experimental chemicals.
The winner of the Enhanced Games will be determined by the hard work in the swimming pool, the weights room, and of course here on the track. But for the first time, as a part of a controversial medical trial, those who choose to take performance enhancing drugs will have that unnatural edge. But the question is, how is all of this being paid for? It doesn't come cheap. What does Enhance truly stand for?
What our mission is as a company is to give everyone in the world the opportunity to live enhanced.
WADA has called the Enhanced Games dangerous and the concept irresponsible. Yet Enhance want to one day sell PEDs to society.
How do you build your business model with so many people against your core concept?
Look, I think it's an interesting point of view, right? Nothing in life can ever be made fully safe. There's people that die every year from taking aspirin. It just happens, it's very sad. Every individual is so different. We have no two human beings who are alike, and everyone reacts to different substances differently. Some people enjoy milk, others are lactose intolerant. The only thing that we can do is have as much of a personalized approach that we can possibly have to the products that we're offering, and making sure that with consistent medical and clinical monitoring, the people that choose to do it are doing it safely.
Las Vegas, maybe world records will be broken, maybe they won't, but either way it will be the biggest statement of controversy or support in the world of sport. How do you want future generations to look back at that first Enhanced Games?
I think look back and be inspired. Be inspired and proud of the athletes that went out there, believed in the longer term opportunity that they have all been a core part in contributing in. Changing the stigma, changing the perception, showcasing to the world that the clinical and medical supervision makes the usage of performance enhancement safe. And I will be, I think, very proud of the first athletes that go out there and break world records. There will be many of them. But equally as proud are we going to be of the athletes that are in their 30s, that are coming out of retirement, not with the objective to break a world record, but with the objective to beat their personal best from when they were in their early 20s. And that, I think, is equally as exciting, if not more, because it makes it so much more relatable.
Even with condemnation from sporting bodies, these athletes are putting their health on the line to win a life-changing prize. If they can become world beaters, society's view of PEDs may change forever. Antoine Allen, ITV News.